So, how you doing? I almost got my 4th fight this summer. You just missed it. I don't know what it is. I seem to attract fights, but I will also say, Schaumburg, where I live, in Schaumburg, Illinois, it's a fucking shithole place. It's the worst place. Like, this Schaumburg is where all the shit comes. At the end of the universe, or at the end of the world. They all congregate here. And I think it's because, like, if you can see, I'm kind of short. And I walk like this. You know, so I think, like, I must be threatening men with my walk. And they feel like, you know, they can fight me. But this guy, like, came up to me. He started asking me for change. Also, I'm very rude when somebody just comes up to me. Maybe it's like, maybe I should chill. No, I have no chill. That's the other thing, too. In my old age, I fight more now than I used to. But I'm working on it. I probably should call my priest. Go to confession. I'll do that. So forgive me for being a jerk. Or for being somebody who's, like, quick to fight. But we live in a weird time where everything's like falling apart like really quick, and all these men out here who are not really men. They're not men at all. They're very quick to want to fight, you know. Anyway, how's everybody out there in TV land, in YouTube land? Anyway, I wanted to make a video because, I don't know, I don't want any of these videos to just be down all the time. And I want to keep my algorithm active. You know what I mean? You see how I'm walking, all right? Any like threatened guy or like low testosterone, low T dude will see me walking like this and they want to fight. Anyway, I don't know if I told you, I've been in 3 fights this summer. That was almost the 4th. I have a feeling I would have done okay with this guy though. But it was in a very public place, so I'm glad it didn't happen. Cooler heads prevailed. I was cool, you know. And I had also told my priest and my godfather I would not fight anymore. So, no more fighting. I'm trying not to get in any fights. So, but anyway, you just missed it. You see my black eye? I lost that fight. Anyway, enough about fighting. It's so juvenile and childish. I'm too old to be doing that. You can go. No, you go. I'm so nice. I let people go. You can go. No, you go. Okay, let me tell you something about Midwest. It's like funny as heck. So when you're walking, people in the Midwest, especially, I've noticed, it's the only place in the world where I've seen this. They go out of the way, like if you're walking, to stop their car and let you walk. But then a lot of times you got to run. So I'm not in any hurry. My life is not in any hurry. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, you go. You go. No, you go. So now, like, I do this thing where, like, if I see a car, like, slowing down to try to let me go, I just look down. And then it's like 5 minutes later, we're both, like, standing there waiting for the other person to go. Have you guys ever noticed this? I don't know. Maybe I should write a song about that or not. Anyway, I wanted to make this video because I was thinking about, I was walking in Schaumburg, which I just told you was a shithole place, which it is. It changed so much from when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, chill, dear. Thank you for calling me handsome. I think you're a bot, though. Cannot be real. I don't feel handsome. Although I'm wearing a tight t-shirt. That was the other reason why I think guys want to fight me, because they think like, oh, this guy's like, he's been working out. And he's probably a fighter. And they see my black eye. I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh, I don't want to fight anymore. I just want to love people and just be like a nice person to people, which I am. If you really knew me, I think it would be, like, you'd be like, oh, John's a nice guy. Why would you want to fight him? He's like a cool, nice guy. So anyway, I wanted to talk about Schaumburg. So I used to come to Schaumburg when I was a kid, like when I was in my teens. I used to live in West Chicago, which was kind of close. But we would drive up north because the best record store in the suburbs used to be in Schaumburg on Golf Road. And it was called the Turntable. And I don't look handsome. You guys, please stop. I'm very old. I look very old, but that's nice. You guys make videos all the time if you keep saying I'm handsome. But anyway, I'm talking about the turntable. So there used to be this record store on Golf Road. I could literally walk there right now. It would take me 15 minutes, but it's not there anymore. And I'll tell you why. It's a really sad story why it's no longer there. But the Turntable was like the best record store in the suburbs, other than Rockin' Records, which was in Norwich, which is also a good record store that is still there, that still exists. But anyway, the Turntable was a record store that was on Golf Road. And we used to go there maybe every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks on Saturday or Friday night. I wish I could go back in time and do that again because it was so much fun. I bought so many great records at that record store. I was thinking about it. I bought Celtic Frost there. I bought the Celtic Frost Emperor's Return picture disc there in 1988. Also, I was in the Chicago Tribune because the Chicago Tribune happened to be there a day I was there. I was there by myself. I got my car, I got my driver's license when I was like 17. And I went there and it was just me in the store. And then this like older gentleman walked in with the photographer. And they were like, oh, you guys stop talking about my looks. But that's nice though. No, you can keep talking about it. It's embarrassing me though. So anyway, this was in 1990. So in 1990, I was there at the Turntable by myself. And this gentleman walked in, an older gentleman with a photographer, like an old school, like 80s looking photographer with like huge, like flash, big flash and everything. I'm like, what is this? This is crazy. So then they're walking around and looking. I'm the only person in the store other than the son of the owner who was always there and always giving me dirty looks, but I never stole anything from that place. I never stole any records from that place, nor would I. But so anyway, so they're there, and the photographer, the reporter guy goes, I didn't know he was a reporter. He's like, hey, do you mind if we take some photos of you looking at records? And I was like, okay, creep. No, I didn't think that back in the day. You didn't think that in the 90s. So they're taking photos. And at the end of this, the guy goes, we're with the Chicago Tribune and your picture is going to be in the newspaper next Friday. And I was like, really? That's awesome. So the next Friday, sure enough, Tempo section. So back in the day, the Chicago Tribune had the Tempo section. On the cover of the Tempo section is my picture. And I showed my mom and she was like, I love my mom so much, and this is so typical for her. She's like, why do you look like that in the picture? What's with your hair? And back then I had like a devil lock, if you guys know what that is, like the Misfits thing, where your hair's like in your face. And I was wearing like this oversized flannel shirt, which was very much the uniform of punk rock. It was the uniform of punk rock generally, but it was definitely the uniform of punk rock in suburban Chicago in the late 80s, early 90s. So you would wear a flannel shirt, which was usually like your dad's, so it was oversized. And girls dressed this way, by the way. They looked very unisex back then. Combat boots. I had combat boots that I bought from the Army surplus store, and I still have a pair of combat boots to this day because of that. And I had the Misfits skull paint. I was such a Misfits fan. I still am, but back then, big time. So my mom said, she's like, John, why do you look like that? Everyone's going to see this. And she got like super like kind of like disappointed, whatever. But it was pretty funny. So I wanted to tell you that story because I'm walking through Schaumburg, and Schaumburg is so bad. It's all Chipotle and like bullshit. It's probably no different than where you live. It all looks the same. It's all homogenized. It's like Repo Man come to life. I watched Repo Man. You guys know that movie Repo Man? So anyway, I was watching Repo Man the other day, free on YouTube. And I was like, holy shit, this is the world we live in now. And they were all warning us about it in the 80s, So the other story about the Turntable, which is like incredibly sad, which I hate to tell you. And I didn't learn about this until years later, but so it turns out, I forgot to tell you the other story about, I'll walk back this way, about the Turntable, which I think is funny. You guys maybe won't think it's funny, but I do. So the other thing that was interesting about the Turntable is when you would walk in, it was always the son of the owner that like worked there, and he like wasn't ever having it. He was always unhappy. So you walk in, and behind the counter are all the Screwdriver records. So do you guys know who Screwdriver is? So Screwdriver was like a notorious neo-Nazi band, which, I mean, back then they were like the most notorious band. So they would sell their records there, but they would sell them behind the counter. And so, if you ever asked the guy, like, hey, can I see that Screwdriver record? He'd be like, why do you want to look at that? What's wrong with you? You know, he'd give you the third degree. Now, I wasn't trying to buy a Screwdriver record, but like, we just thought it was funny because we would just make the kid mad. And so I'd be like, one of my friends would be like, hey, can I see that Screwdriver record? And he's like, why do you want to look at that? What's wrong with you? Why would you buy that? And he was right, you know, dude, why would you buy that? So then like 5 minutes later, I'd go up and be like, hey, you remember that Screwdriver record? Could I look at it? And we would just look at him. And then we'd be, thank you. And he was always such a jerk. So I bought the most amazing record there, which I told you, which I wish I still had. It's probably worth money now. Celtic Frost, Emperor's Return. Have you guys seen this one? The picture disc. I think it was a German import. It may have been on Noise Records. I don't know. But it was like, if you go look at the artwork for it, it's so badass. It still is. It's like got this big snake dude on there and these like women that hardly have any clothes on. It's like very Conan the Barbarian. It was obviously inspired by Conan the Barbarian. So the other story about the turntable I wanted to say, which is so sad, was I found out years later why it closed. Well, it turns out the turntable was running another operation there, which was drugs. They were selling drugs out of, and the place got raided. And the husband, who was running the place, doing the stuff, did a murder-suicide with him and his wife. I didn't know about this until like years later, because I'd always wondered what had happened, but it made me so sad when I found that out. What a horrible story. Anyway, I wanted to tell you, hello, it's Friday. I feel so much better. I don't mean to make these videos when I'm depressed. I've been so depressed lately, so down. And these just help me like work through my things. I live my life now. I'm pretty isolated, so I don't really talk to people very much. I talk to my godfather almost every day. He cares much, and he's like worried about me. But other than that, I just wanted to check in and tell you that I hope you're having a nice day and you have a nice weekend. I'm going to work on my album tonight and tomorrow, and I hope to finish it by next week, early next week. It is so close. And it's called Wizard of Oswald. And it's my 23rd album in my life that I've made. It's like got 14 or 15 songs on it. And they're not long songs, they're like shorter songs. And the song Wizard of Oswald kind of sounds like Bad Company, but then the rest of Dodge, Ram, or Ford F-Series. I really have no preference, to be honest with you. I've never thought about it. So the Wizard of Oswald, the opening track's Wizard of Oswald, it's like kind of sounds like a Bad Company song. But then the rest of it sounds like Dolphin Lines, if you like that kind of thing. I have a song on there called Athenite Flowers, which is really pretty. It's a really pretty album. It's like the prettiest thing I've done in a while. It's kind of like Out Like a Lamelo, if you're into that, or if you know what that is. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for listening to me, and good night.